What's going on, everyone, and thanks so much for tuning in to yet another video concert review here on Fulton's Music Reviews. Today's concert review is going to be a very special one, and one that I really had to sit down, take the time, even being out of the weather, to film this for you. This is going to be of the Rush R40 concert that just came through Boston, Massachusetts. Now this is a concert celebration of basically themselves. One of the best rock bands in the history of music, one of the most inspirational bands in all of the progressive rock genre, and my personal favorite band of all time. This was one that left me speechless even before the show started, and has still left me speechless now, but I am going to try to at least give some thoughts and just some personal thank yous, really, about the show and about the whole celebration in and of itself. So let's dive into it, the Rush R40 concert celebration from Boston, Massachusetts. Now, ever since I was very, very young, I think I might have heard Rush first when I was around 7 or 8 years old. It started with these two albums. I felt like going old school with this one because this is very much an old school tribute. 2112 and Moving Pictures. These two albums were where I first got my water wings, if you will, for the band, and just really grew at an expansive rate even when I was very young. These three guys, Alex, Geddy, and Neil, have kind of made my musical taste more expansive, even if it really was just focused on them at a very young age. Their entire catalog, spanning from the early 70s to right now in 2015, in and of itself is a very expansive and musically diverse catalog. Self-titled, Fly By Night, Crest of Steel, All the World's a Stage, 2112, A Farewell to Kings, Hemispheres, Permanent Wave, Moving Pictures, Exit Stage Left, Signals, Grace Under Pressure, Power Windows, Hold Your Fire, A Show of Hands, Presto, Roll the Bones, Counterparts, Test for Echo, The Different Stages live album, Vapor Trails, Rush in Rio, the Feedback tribute album, Snakes and Arrows, Clockwork Angels Live. I'm sure I missed a few, but I just felt like Dave Grohl from the Rush Hall of Fame induction. But still, even just seeing the names of those albums is exciting enough. Listening to those albums is even more exciting, and of course seeing it live is just the icing on the cake, creme de la creme, everything you could ever want. And that is exactly what they did on the R40 live show. I don't want to give any spoilers away as to what they played. I mean, I'm sure a lot of you know the set list already, and it is a small revolving set list, if you will, but it is really a celebration of everything they have done in reverse order. I think that's the biggest spoiler I'm going to give in this review, because I want you all to experience this for yourself if you are able to at least get to the remaining shows on this tour. And as we know, it's quite possibly their last full-length tour, and it makes it all more worth going to this. Not only just for the set that they're playing, but also just for that last hurrah as a band that they are going to be given. And they did not hesitate to blow minds in terms of what they picked to play. A lot of it is kind of what you would expect, but the second set, I feel, is what any Rush fan wanted. And even into the encore, this is the set that I think all Rush fans wanted for a long, long time. And Rush fans are going to be impossible to please. Even if they played the entire catalog for 19 hours straight in a row, there would still be something that we would want from them. But within the course of 2.5 to 3 hours, I think that they had picked the best of the best, and at least the fan favorites, or at least the ones that made them who they are today. And I think they picked the biggest bangers they could, and although they kind of simplified a couple of things, I think they gave us a little taste of everything in the best way that they could possibly do. Now, Mike Portnoy actually took his son Max to the Boston show, and he tweeted, "Are you kidding me with this second set? This is every Rush fan's dream." And I think even he knows the whole idea of this tribute. I mean, he's played in so many Rush tribute bands over the years, Signets and the Sea Monsters. Check that out if you haven't already. But even he said in his, I think it was his high school yearbook, he wanted to be the next Neil Peart. And I think he actually got a ticket to the Boston show from Neil himself, got to take a picture with Neil's kit, and he wanted to show Max the Professor live in raw form before he packs it up. And I'm very glad that Neil took the time out. A lot of what made this tour so special was because Neil was very hesitant to leave his family and his daughter after losing his first wife and his first daughter to terrible powers that be years ago. You know, I think we owe it to him quite a big deal for taking the time out and doing everything that he's doing on this tour. It's very much a celebration of him as it is for the entire band. I think all of them are very thankful for this opportunity to play with him one last time, if this is the last tour they're ever going to be sharing with him. The set itself, and I'm talking about the actual visual aesthetic of the set, really does showcase 40 years of their career, and it does morph and change throughout these sets. We have the working men, if you will. Their little puns are all surrounded on the stage, but the working men are working very hard on this tour to make the set ever-changing throughout the set list. And the closer that it gets to the end of the show, it only becomes more, I guess, nostalgic for them, and you're gonna just have to see it. And if you can't, I'm sure there's plenty of YouTube videos of it. Once you get closer to the first few albums, it gets a little, I get a little teary-eyed to watch that, because they're paying tribute to their very first years as a functional band, and it's definitely something you have to see. And I'm sure that they had their own teary-eyed moments while playing it and turning around and looking at what they're doing, and it probably brought them back in time quite a bit. And I can only imagine what it feels like for them. I mean, I am just closing in on my 3rd decade of life, let alone 40 decades of playing in a band. I mean, I love playing music, and I will continue playing music for my entire life. I mean, Alex, Geddy, and Neil, some of the reasons as to why I became a musician in the first place. It only grew to become a better musician. But playing for over 40 years and not getting tired of it, I mean, that just goes to show you that music is a very important role in people's lives, and being gods at what they do, I can only imagine the joy that it is for them playing on stage, the 3 of them every single night, to crowds of people that love what they do. I can only say to Alex, Geddy, and Neil, thank you for 40 years of everything that you have done and everything that you will continue to bring us in the future. I'm sure that you will have something up your sleeve, even if this is the last tour. I'm getting at a loss for words here, but there was, a period in my life I was sworn to myself that I was born in the wrong era. I wish I was born in the 70s to kind of hear Rush music for the first time. I was born in the 60s to experience Rush as a teenager. But even though I discovered, these 2 albums when I was very young and only grew to own the entire catalog on 3 mediums over and over and over and over again, I still got to enjoy the music, and that's the most important thing. And I know that this music will live on forever, even long after they're gone. Don't even want to say that, but still, it's true. This is music that I know that parents will be showing their kids decades and decades from now. I know that I will be showing my kids and my loved ones this music for decades to come, and I will be continued to playing this music and continuing to learn all the stuff that they did. I mean, even when you travel back in time, the music never got simpler, it actually got more difficult, and even still, in 2015, some of this music is some of the most challenging music to play as a musician, but it's all the more rewarding once you get to play it and actually get to go through the motions that they did while playing it. Guys, I just gotta give my thanks and my gratitude. You've remained my favorite band for over almost 20 years at this point, and I'm going to continue every single day to enjoy everything that you've done. If you've gotten a chance to see this show, what have you thought of it? And are you seeing multiple shows? I wish I was able to see the A, B, and C set list, but you know, just seeing the one Boston show is enough for me to be absolutely speechless. And with whatever voice I have left right now, I'm happy to be saying all these praising words. And I would sound like a broken record if I kept doing it over and over again. But I'm going to call it here. I am starting to lose my voice again. Thank you guys for listening. Thank you, Alex, Geddy, Neil. Again, I cannot stress this enough. I love you guys, and it's been a treat for all these years seeing you guys live, and can't thank you enough. Thank you, and thank you. Bye bye.